Portions of this podcast are made possible through the patronage of great people like At Lonely Bob, Big Alvy, and Goldafish.
You are listening to the Vicis Interimo show, 30 minutes to kill, more or less. We're a horror movie review podcast featuring horror, suspense, and psychological thrillers. You can find us on iTunes, Stitchers, Podomatic, and just about anywhere. Just type in VICISINTERIMO. I am your host, Michael Mad Saxon Jones, here with my lovely wife and co-host, Lori.
Are you waiting for me to say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Here I am
reading this whole thing perfectly, and then you're just...
Then there's just a big pause.
You must have been enthralled by my voice.
You should have just kept going.
I'm going to keep going now.
Okay, good idea.
Our show generally has 4 segments. Laid to Rest, where we tie up loose ends from previous shows. A short review of our featured movie, in this case, Aronofsky's Mother. Sounds like we're reviewing her. That's a little weird. Anyhow.
Reviewing her mother?
His mother, Aronofsky's mother, yes. Anyhow, Garbage In, Garbage Out, where we talk about movies, TV shows, books, anything else we may have caught over the last week or so. And generally, though I'm not sure if we'll have it this time, we end with a Crawling Chaos, a topic or factoid that we have never talked about on the show before. Sometimes silly, sometimes serious, most always chaotic. All right.
Well, we better have one because that's a great... that description is just intriguing.
That's just because you wrote it.
No,
even though I
didn't write that.
That's true. Anyhow,
you're the one that wrote that.
So let's just get on with the show, because at this point it's been, without going into a long, lengthy explanation, this is going to be our laid to rest here. What we had to lay to rest is it's been a really rough week for both of us. We don't normally
almost
like to...
2 weeks, actually.
Yeah, we don't really like to complain or so on and so
forth.
We're
not gripers.
Yeah, so just briefly, you were sick. I twisted my ankle and wound up with a case of gout, so I wasn't able to walk. I actually had to miss 2 days of work and rode around for 2 days in a personal transport chair. And it's been a rough couple of week and a half, whatever. It's been a rough for us. Getting back to this, anything that you want to tie up from The Last Key, from Insidious, The Last Key?
I don't think so.
No? I wanted to find that guy's name because we saw him again in Winchester, but that's another story for another time.
Oh.
Maybe that'll be next episode.
Yeah, save that for the next episode.
All right, so you know what? Let's just get right into Aronofsky's Mother.
We spend all our time here. I want to make a paradise.
She redid all of that. Every last detail. And she breathed life back into every room.
Are you happy?
I love you. Please, come in. Hello.
Hello. He's a stranger. We're just going to let him sleep in our house. Hello.
Hello.
Did you know he had a wife? He has pictures of you in his luggage.
What were you doing in their luggage?
What do they want? God help you.
They've come here to see me.
Come quick! You're insane! You're insane!
All I'm trying to do is bring life into this house. Open the door to new people, new ideas.
I'm so sorry.
Get out of my house! You give and you give and you give. It's just never enough.
So, Aronofsky's horror movie, is it a horror movie? Mother. So this is what we're talking about, is Mother with Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem.
Yep.
Okay, Javier Bardem.
So we're not going to read the synopsis?
Well, we will.
The computer's not pulling it up, so the computer doesn't want to talk about it.
Let's just, I was going to say, let's just start with the controversy surrounding it,
because I wasn't aware of all of that. I didn't know a thing about it when we put it on our list.
Okay.
I went into it blind, and I wasn't sure what the heck I just watched at the end, and I haven't looked at anything online. No reviews, no discussions. So, pray tell, what's the...
Well, do we need to talk about Aronofsky as a filmmaker then, to start with?
Maybe.
His films, I first saw the first thing that I saw, even before I knew his name or what he was associated with, I saw this movie Pi. And I thought...
Oh, he's the one that did Pi?
Yeah, that was freaking awesome. I love Pi. Great movie. I
could kind of see that now.
Well, okay.
With just visually and
okay.
camera decisions and
all right. So now,
certain aspects, I could see that.
And if I name another one, you're probably, if you don't know this already, Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
I know how you love that one.
No, I can't stand that movie.
I like that one too. Not as much as I do Pi.
It is interesting. Okay. I liked Pi. I liked Pi much better.
Okay.
But when I was watching Pi, I didn't know who... I could tell it was the same filmmaker.
Okay.
Because there was some editing decisions and things... Is that working?
Yes.
There were some editing decisions and different effects and sounds and things that he used a lot in Requiem for a Dream. He put some of them in Pi, so it was very, very easy to spot.
Okay.
This one, I didn't get that, so...
All right. Well...
Is that our synopsis there?
Yeah, so let's
wow, it's one sentence?
Yeah.
A couple's relationship is tested when uninvited guests arrive at their home, disrupting their tranquil existence.
Why are you snickering?
I don't know.
Seems a little brief for everything that we saw, huh?
What else that's it in a nutshell,
okay,
for sure.
That is it. But right from the beginning, from your opening scene...
Yeah, you knew something was wrong.
You know exactly. You know more than that is going on. And if you're paying attention...
Yeah.
It was a movie to play along with. I mean, you watch it. There were other movies that we referenced when we saw it. Like, we thought about Armistice. We thought about...
Yeah, we were trying to figure out... You could tell that whatever's going on here is not normal. Well, let's... Okay, so we have Jennifer Lawrence. She's a...
young wife.
Yes.
Married to a middle-aged author.
Yeah.
Author. Yeah. And they seem to have a happy existence here, a little bit isolated maybe.
Yeah,
but
they're living in an old house that they're restoring.
Right.
And it belonged to his
family. It was his family home and stuff. And so,
there'd been a fire and some damage.
Right, but they had restored it. They were putting everything back in order. She'd done most of it herself.
I was going to say she's doing most of the work herself. Right when it starts, it opens with her waking up and walking around the house a little bit. It's very dreamlike.
Okay,
I think.
Sure, yeah.
And she goes to the front door and opens the front door, and the house is definitely out in the country.
Right.
She looks out the door, and there's just kind of nothing out there.
Right.
some grass, some trees, but like nothing. So that very opening scene, I was like, what's going on here?
Did you get the feeling right away that we had maybe an unreliable narrator, or did you think you said it had dreamlike quality?
As soon as the action starts, the first uninvited guests arriving,
Ed Harris.
I kind of forgot about all of that.
Okay.
Because it was so, it was kind of jarring. It kind of took you out of that dreamlike thing. And it was like, wait, who are these annoying people that are in the house?
Right. Because obviously more people show up then.
Yeah. I mean, there are some weird things that happen that remind you, like, wait a minute, what is actually going on here? Because sometimes they didn't act like normal people. Whatever normal people act like, they were, I don't know.
Things seemed a little over the top here and there. Okay,
yes.
So I guess my question is this a horror movie? Is it a psychological thriller?
I think a lot of people would. You saw an article I posted a few weeks ago about horror movies.
Yes, this is true. Horror doesn't necessarily mean, we always say this, doesn't mean blood and guts necessarily.
Right. There's an ongoing argument always. So I think it would probably be split. I think a lot of people would say this isn't a horror movie. That was just dumb.
A lot of people didn't get it.
Yeah. So what is horror? What's horror to you?
Well,
it had a lot of my personal horrors in it.
I was just going to say.
I swear, my blood pressure went up so high watching that movie.
This whole movie, it touched the entire gambit of everything that generally, the royal you, the royal we, whatever, that could identify as horror.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of body horror. There was a little bit of gore. There was a little bit of medical horror. There was just situational horror. There was
lots of
everything.
Situational horror.
A lot of his movies kind of just assault you with things too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This one finally did, because I remember when Requiem for a Dream came out and everybody fawned all over it like crazy, and it was one of those movies where everybody kept telling me over and over, when are you going to see this? You have to go see this. You have to go see this. It's so excellent. And oh my gosh, you have to go see this thing. It's so new and it's so unique and so just shocking. And I was like, okay, all right. And, I just found it annoying.
Well, we talked about that.
I don't know if it was partly because when
people build things up for you like that, that almost sometimes can automatically put a barrier up there.
Maybe. But it seemed like it wasn't that shocking or assaulting to me.
Okay.
I mean, I remember someone who I was hanging out with at the time was like, oh my gosh, like I've never seen anything like that in my life. Like I'll never be the same. But like when I watched it, it was kind of just, dare I say pretentious? I don't know.
Okay. Well, a lot of people...
I don't know.
But it did have that same effect on other people there, where it was so shocking and eye-opening and so on. We have a short topic coming up that we're going to talk about, because...
It wasn't totally realistic, because it was, okay, the dangers and horrors of drug addiction, but we're going to end up talking about Requiem for a Dream.
I was just getting ready to say, we're starting to get off the track here.
But it was over the top, and it got too corny to where it was like, okay, I guess that could happen, but come on.
Okay,
it
so
became
just really
dreamlike. It was more like a nightmare. Like, this isn't reality,
right.
But this is
Requiem
maybe the
for a
writers
Dream is listed by several people as one of those movies you could only watch once. Oh, you could only watch this movie once. I think I could watch it more than once and not be. Yeah,
because it just wasn't that.
But this movie,
I don't think I'll ever watch Mother again. I have no reason to.
That's funny, because I was going to say I think now that some time has passed too, I think I would actually want to see it again.
Oh,
because I wouldn't make you sit through it then, I guess. But I held on to the very opening scene and in the back of my mind this whole time while I was watching it. So when I'm not going to say I jumped ahead and I knew how it was going to end,
Right.
But for me, it was satisfying. You know what? I got something out of this that I don't know if anybody else did. I'm not saying they couldn't or didn't or shouldn't or whatever. I'm just saying it was satisfying in that I'm going to take away from this movie, right or wrong, whatever. I'm going to take away my version of what this movie is, or what this movie has to do.
Well, I think it's open to some interpretations.
Probably so. And so...
And I guess I probably could watch it again, because the things that really struck me, like we don't want to give anything away because we don't do spoilers.
I want to say some very specific things about it.
I do too.
And
this is one of those we're just going to have to dance around, and it's going to be annoying to everybody.
All right. Well, we'll.
But knowing what I know now, the parts that really bothered me, I don't know. I can't even say.
Okay.
I mean, there's lots
That's unsatisfying. Because it's like, I can equate this to like half a dozen other movies, but if I can't tell you why, it would just seem so wild and abstract.
Okay.
Like if I told you this movie reminded me...
Everything feels that way anyway about now.
If I told you this movie reminded me in some ways of Xanadu, you would be like...
What?
Yeah, exactly. If I could have just caught that face that you just made.
Xanadu.
But there are... Yeah.
Oh. All right.
So you can see the abstract connection that I'm maybe making. Maybe not even that abstract, the connection that I'm making.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do we... I guess we're beating a dead horse at this point because we can't really talk about it.
See, and now that I know who did the film and stuff, like I'm a little more annoyed with it.
That's not fair.
So thanks for that. Well, I guess we can say just a little bit. We already said, it opens with her waking up, walking around the house. Her husband's already awake and out of bed, and when they run into each other, they're kind of a nice couple. And like you said, he's older than she is, but they seem very genuinely happy. But he invites some people into the house who he doesn't know very well. And it kind of snowballs from there, just to give people an idea of what you're dealing with.
Right.
Because that synopsis was terrible. It was good. It was brief.
Yeah.
But it, like it said, uninvited guests, but like they're a little too comfortable and a little too familiar. And that's where it got really nuts for me. One person's in the house, two people are in the house. They invite a few more people in the house. It's just that feeling of losing control of your environment.
At that point, pretty much.
You're in your home. That should be your safe space. It belongs to you. It's your home. Ooh. And there's all these people now in your house, and they're treating you like you're the stranger.
Okay.
So it's kind of like that. But by the end, it's all kinds of crazy, and things are so over the top. That's where I could really see that filmmaker's... I could see that now.
Okay. But I mean, you don't hate him entirely as a director or dislike everything he did. Because, I mean, he directed Black Swan.
Yeah.
Right? And so...
Directed it and
stuff. So
I love Black Swan.
Yeah. So... maybe it's just one of those you love. Anyhow, all right. So
I don't know.
With the movie, just... What's your rating? 1 to 5.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. I love Jennifer Lawrence. She gets a 5.
Javier Bardem did a great job in there.
Yeah. We went to the Conan O'Brien show, and he was the guest that evening.
Yes, we did.
That was quite a few years ago.
Obviously, that was No Country for Old Men, right? That was when he was.
Yeah, it was. That movie was just getting ready to come out. Right. He was on Conan O'Brien, and we just happened to be there that night.
Right. Okay. So, and then we watched him almost immediately after Mother when Pirates of the Caribbean. We got to see him in that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, my number on it, I'm giving it a 3.
Okay.
But
so that's you liked it.
Super selective recommend, and it's I.
Okay, well, you know what? Yeah, I'd give it at least. You got to give it a 3, because I can't say I didn't like it.
All right.
I didn't love it, I can't really say I really liked it. But I liked it, and you know what? I would give it a chance again. I might watch it again.
All right.
To try to figure out what the hell is going on.
As soon as we're off mic, I can tell you exactly what I feel is going on, and my analogy to Xanadu. But
right.
Anyhow, all right. Enough about that. Let's
wait. So the recommend?
Like I said, a super selective recommend. There's only certain people that would enjoy avant-garde films, or the people that would watch Pi, Requiem for a Dream. Like, there's I would only recommend this to film lovers.
Yeah.
That really are into the art and the craft of the film.
And if you really love Jennifer Lawrence, she's great in it.
Yeah. But
so
in that case,
for her
that was the thing. I think people, like I said earlier, and I don't know whether we caught it on this, but people refer to it as torture porn and things like that, just because
I don't
psychological and stuff. Just if you love Jennifer Lawrence,
she goes through hell. Yeah,
absolutely hell through this movie, and so.
Well, and I guess sounds so weird talking about it if you haven't seen it yet, but. After saying, her husband is loving and all of this, but he invites these people in, and if these people are horrible, why isn't he making them leave? And that's where it kind of gets you, because he's very,
selfish?
Yeah.
Childlike? It's in some ways, I think childlike.
And it's she's pleading with him to fix this and get these people out of our house, and he's very understanding and everything, but he's also well, they need help, and they need
putting their needs
this, and they need that.
I don't know.
It was just that feeling of you're being attacked and you're alone. Your mate who's supposed to support you is not on your side.
Yeah. So, we probably I said,
it was horror.
We've probably gone on way too long about this, and everybody's seen it that's going to see it by now. I don't know. Garbage in, garbage out. Let's move on to that.
Okay.
All right. The Dark Tower.
Oh, dear.
I was so looking forward to that. I understand it's not going to be the books. I get that.
Well, you were looking forward to it, though, until it came out and you heard the reviews, right?
Well, I didn't really listen because I wanted to make up my own mind. And to be
But you knew what people were saying.
Yeah.
There was no way you could avoid hearing that nobody liked it.
Okay. But having said that, I kind of liked it.
Okay.
It was okay.
Because you were expecting complete, horrible...
Exactly.
Crap.
And I was... This isn't the Dark Tower. I mean, it's not the books, and it never is. I get that. I'm going to go with... But there were certain very specific things that... see, I'm going to screw up his name. The guy that played Roland.
Yeah.
So the fact that it was played by a black man, that if you were going by the story,
right,
it shouldn't matter.
Right.
Actually, no. If you're going by the story, it absolutely should matter because that figured so prominently in King's writing, and a lot of things that happened throughout the books happened because Roland was white and his companions were not, or specifically one person, Detta Walker, one person in particular.
Right.
And so this movie is almost like I can liken it to a Batman adventure, an Elseworld or whatever, where you take your hero and you stick him in something else. This is inspired by the Dark Tower. It's you know what I mean. So I was able to enjoy it on that level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And with
if you could disconnect it from, because I mean, the Dark Tower series is, I think,
7 books long. It's one of my favorites.
I was going to say it's one of your favorites.
I wore
Stephen King.
out 3 copies of the tapes listening to it. You know
tapes.
what I mean?
You're old.
Tapes. I'm so old. I was feeling it this week too.
So that's good. You were still able to enjoy the movie
for what it was, you know. Yeah, and and it had that abridged feeling that,
sure,
of course. And so on. So I'm interested to see whether they are going to try to do anything with the TV show.
Well, do you think, as far as what you were talking about their choice of casting Roland, do you think since the series, we'll try not to go into a big discussion on the books and all that, but there's prejudice and some racism and stuff in the story between characters and this and that. Do you think this was their way of just washing that out?
Instead of whitewashing, they're blackwashing it or whatever. I don't know. I don't think so. No, because then they didn't
need. But the movie didn't. It didn't even have to go there.
No, it didn't.
It took care of everything all in one.
I don't know.
I mean, unless they introduced some of these characters from the book that had issues,
right? Because I
don't think they're going to get a chance to make the second movie.
I don't think they will, based on.
So yeah, they blew it. They blew it right out of the gate. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That happens
and
sometimes.
I don't know how else
Golden
to put
Compass,
it except
Narnia.
But I don't know how else to put it except in black and white. That one character that specifically comes over was a freedom fighting for civil rights in the civil rights movement and stuff.
Yeah.
So how do you now equate that to this character that she was fighting against so hard in the book?
That's what I'm saying. The movie just took care of it. It's just not even going to...
the same thing. You know what? Again, going on too long about this. Whatever.
Yeah, is this our garbage in, garbage out segment?
This is garbage in, garbage out.
We're supposed to talk about each movie or thing, just a couple minutes on each one. So
Sid
we watched
Nancy.
The Dark Tower, all right.
Sid Nancy.
You finally saw it.
Saw Sid Nancy.
What did you think?
I think it caught the frenetic pace of drug addiction.
Yes.
I'm seeing a theme through this episode. Gary Oldman, great. Just super as a young, skinny Sid.
Yeah.
Wow, that was something.
Chloe Webb as Nancy Spungen.
That's maybe a movie I don't necessarily need to see again for liking it and stuff. You know what I mean?
It's such a cult classic now. Some people have seen it I don't know how many times. So many people just love that movie.
It was intense, I guess. That's the best way to describe that. That whole thing
Indeed.
is pretty intense. One last one before we end here. Jeepers Creepers 3.
Oh, P.U.
Oh, another one that...
What the heck? This is a terrible...
this whole show.
Man.
We probably could have waited another couple of months to put this out. Anyhow, Jeepers Creepers 3.
Yeah.
There were things in there to like for me.
Yeah.
But it was just too all
creeper,
over the place.
I guess.
Well, and what about his van?
Even though he got hung up in his own trap in his own truck. Come on.
And his whole little Batmobile, his whole truck becoming a seemingly almost sentient being there.
Yeah. I didn't like that.
No.
There was a lot of things I didn't like.
Yeah.
They need to stop. Don't do that again.
It's too bad, too, because we had waited so long to enjoy and had such hopes for it.
We've been waiting forever for a third one to come out. But as soon as I heard it was going to be a one-day theater...
Well, I think that had to do with...
One day in the theater and then available everywhere else. It was oh, Lordy, what'd they do?
Well, it wasn't them. I mean, necessarily. I think that had more to do with the director.
Well, it had... sorry, but didn't it have a very strong Sci-Fi Channel movie vibe to it? Made for Sci-Fi Channel. That's what I thought I was watching.
Okay, well, it did. And it was.
They introduced a ton of characters going every which direction.
Without giving backstory specific to each one and so on, and clearly establishing where we were in the timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a miss.
But it sounds like it's one of these open franchise things where anybody could make one.
Yeah.
If we had enough money, we could do a fourth one and do it right.
Do we open another Patreon account to see if we can?
Yeah, just so we can film it in the backyard.
Help us fix the Jeepers Creepers thing.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my goodness. Do you have a crawling chaos for us?
I don't.
I'm going to forego it this weekend. My apologies.
Sad.
It is sad. But you know what? We've been working hard, despite being somewhat handicapped.
Yeah.
And we've got a couple of new shows. One is out already.
Yeah.
That's our short topics. I almost could have called it headshots, but it's short topics because it's just whatever. It's just a short topic, a question or something.
Yeah. That's a better title because it says what it is.
Yeah.
It's a short topic.
In theory, it's a short topic.
I'm not sure about your little picture you came up with, though.
I thought that was funny. Considering you didn't want to appear on camera for the time we videoed the podcast and so on, it seemed appropriate. Short topics.
Thanks.
What are you, 5'2"?
I am 5'2". Hey, I'm the tallest girl in my whole family.
All right. Anyhow.
I'm a giant.
Yes, you are. You're my giant. My little giant. What was that? The big midget? What's her name?
I don't know.
Lady Sovereign, what she call herself?
Oh.
Yeah.
Vertically challenged?
No, she called herself like a big... Anyhow, you know what? All right. If you hung out to the end, thanks, folks. I'm not sure this was worth waiting for, but a huge thank you.
I wish we had more things to talk about that we really loved and we're into.
We're
this
gonna
is
have
just
stuff.
like womp womp.
We've got Winchester coming up. We've got a little bit to add to that since we actually went to the house. We've got these other short topics for you folks to enjoy.
Hopefully they're better than this was.
A huge thank you again, as always, to our patrons and those that support us.
Yes.
That would be at Lonely Bob, Big Al V, and Golda Fish. Your support means everything. As always, you can get in contact with us by emailing me directly at madsaxon, that's with 2 X's, MADSAXXON at yahoo.com, or look us up on Facebook by punching in VICIS INTERIMO, or just friend me S. Michael Jones on Facebook. Make sure you're going to Podomatic, where our page is. You can usually click the link, whatever you're listening to now. You can probably find a way there. Just because all the links, all the movies and stuff that we talk about are...
show notes.
Show notes are there. The notes aren't much different. They usually consist of just a bunch of YouTube links, but you can see the movies. And
I was going to say, you write the show notes and you have dyslexia, so I'm not sure what you're putting up there.
Who knows? At any rate. Who knows? I don't know.
You do your best.
I do.
But the links always work.
The links to YouTube at least usually work, yeah. And you can always stay tuned for those Throwback Thursday episodes to see how far we've come.
Yeah. Are they any different?
No, they're still just as bad. All right. Thanks for listening.
Down.